Well, hello, hello, hello. We're starting now, folks. We've got our timing almost perfectly well. Hello, I'm Joe Wesley.
Good morning, folks. Lizzy Gabor here.
Thank you for joining us. For those of us, for those of us, that's early in the morning. I'm already confused. Just the aura of Lizzie. What can I say? For those of you who see us for the first time, thank you for joining us. For those who are coming back multiple times, we really appreciate that also. We do start a little bit early at times to give you some of the background flow of what we're doing. And we start off with a commercial break that whether you look at us live at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time or 10 o'clock at night on a re-record, please leave your comments, leave your opinions. We do audit your comments and opinions, and we do respond to them as best we can. And more importantly, share us out. For those who look at us through YouTube, remember to sign in so you can leave comments there also. What we do for those who are seeing us for the first time, I'm a left brain kind of guy. I'm very proud about it, highly functional as far as I'm concerned. And Lizzie's somewhere on the other end of the world. Uh, yeah, I kind of laugh at it also. I don't get it, but her clients, her peers say she is good at this holistic wellness concept, along with being a certified yoga instructor. So that in itself didn't grab me, but when she talks about being successful and being healthy and being well all in one breath, I said, "Oh, okay, let's figure out what that's all about." I've yet to done that. This is our 46th one. I'm still working at it, folks. So I really do need your comments to help me out on that. What we do, we don't rehearse. I do provide a topic to give her some chance to make her point well. And today's topic is the issue of acting your age. Lizzie tells me that that's one of her more favorite concepts, the ageless persona of person. My challenge is my wife keeps telling me to act my age. So is she complimenting me or scolding me? I don't know. But anyway, hopefully Lizzie can give us some insight on this.
Well, it sounds like she may be, sometimes we act like big babies in our relationships.
See how she's equivocating already? We haven't even begun the discussion yet, folks. So please leave your comments. I need them.
So yeah, no, I mean, I think it's time to just turn that on our head, turn it on its head. And, I just say, you're never too old for anything, to be playful, to be childlike, to be free, to be light, to not take yourself so seriously. Play the game of life, right? That's what that's the saying. This act my age is about keeping us in little boxes, and that at a certain age we shouldn't do this, that, or the other thing. And I think it's up to us, the older people, to change that.
Well, I hear that, but I think of a lot of headwind on that. I've been to social functions where a woman, perhaps in her early 50s, late 40s, is wearing a miniskirt. And the woman would say, geez, that's just too short a dress for her. She needs to dress more appropriately to her age. So how does, I'm not me against
That's
the world. So how
Yeah,
does,
that's somebody who is, in their own melodrama, and
oh,
making
no,
and
no, I'm,
judging another woman,
no, I,
and that's again, everyone should wear what they want, what makes them happy,
I hear
regardless
that.
of what our society. That's just society trying to put us in a little square peg in a round hole.
I hear that. See, folks, this is the core essence of difference between my confusion with Lizzie. She makes this sound so easy. Well, all you need to do is just block out that melodrama. I guess that's part of that mindfulness thing. And to me, it's still like turning a light switch on. I mean, I'm hearing it, but I'm not assimilating it. So let's say you, Lizzie, is in a condition or position, not condition, you want to act your mindless. Oh, backtrack, I'm being unfair. Define for us, please, your mindfulness age, if I'm saying it correctly, versus your physical age. How do they differ?
Your mindful age in the present moment is you're ageless.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, again, we've been aging every minute since we were born. So but mindfulness is really being in that equanimity, so you don't
I'm sorry,
take
what was that word?
equanimity.
Equanimity?
That's like the goal. The goal is to, like, let things just, because we're gonna all die. We're all
Okay.
gonna we're all gonna die. we're all gonna have suffering. But I mean, it's how do we like deal with heavy issues with some lightness, bring
Hmm.
some lightness. You know how there's some people who can, like, go into a hospital room and they start, they make the person laugh. My father was like the king of humor and laughing, and
Hmm.
I mean that's why people weren't afraid to see him as a dentist, because I mean, he had every patient in the chair cracking up every time. And
And so
they,
it wasn't the laughing gas that was doing it then for them.
no, it was no. He did not like to use that laughing gas at all. But he could bring lightness to heavy situations or scary, and it just brings people more ease. I mean, although when I got my appendix out, and when I laughed, how much it hurt, and I banned him from the hospital room
Mm.
because he kept making me laugh.
Fair
and,
enough. Well,
and it was
could that be
painful.
a cop out sometimes though? That maybe there's an adult situation I'm supposed to be in, perhaps as a seasoned human being, and I just want to sit on the floor and suck my thumb and rock back and
No,
forth.
no. Well, there's inappropriate places to to really be play full out childlike. But I think, but to put yourself in situations where there's laughter yoga. In my
Hmm.
yoga that I teach, we have a couple minutes in some of the sets where it's just you just laugh out loud, and
Hmm.
it makes it's like a way to release light, and it brings lightness. And I'm trying to think what.
What I was talking about is sometimes is there a risk of when you act your age, you're
Oh,
kind of denying the moment, perhaps that you maybe you need to make an adult decision or action or not. It's overwhelming, and one way to avoid that is to act less responsible. And maybe I don't know if I'm saying it seriously or not, but there's got to be a flip side. One should be concerned about.
well, I think it's where we get into trouble is when you start ruminating about like that decision, and
Hmm.
oh, I made that decision. It's the worst decision. I should, that's where your mind grabs hold of that thought. If it's something that you're second guessing or questioning yourself, and runs with it, and then it
Okay.
just takes you down a spiral,
Right.
rather than just making the decision, going with it, and doing. If it works, it works. If it fails, it fails, and then you try something else. um,
Okay. I hear
but
that. So I have a
it
question.
keeps
Then.
people from trying things if they're afraid, or making those decisions that
Well,
could be.
that comes at my next question. So, how does
Mhm.
one develop a mindset that, despite public opinion, at any given moment, I'm going to act my age? Again, it can't be like I'm going to do this. Is that you have to be aware that people will critique you, perhaps.
Yeah, they might. And like I mean, even for myself, when I became a lot more easy going and light, and had more fun, people did notice. And I think, whenever you go change yourself, and for the better or for the people want to keep you in that little box. So they
Mm-hmm.
people might say, what is Liz doing? She's looking really happy, and you know you can you can't bring along somebody for that. They have to choose, but you can show up with the energy that invites people into being a little lighter, and a little more easygoing with the way that you show up.
I hear that. So when my wife tells me to act my age, what should my response be for her? How do it's some tidbits for those of us husbands, perhaps, and maybe even boyfriends that may hear that critique perhaps more than one
Yeah.
time.
Oh, well, I would ask her what she means by that, in what way, because it's really just an easy way to kind of like infantilize you, or to infantilize the person, and make them, feel not feel good about themselves. So it's
But that's my point. So how does one? So you may not address the issue of my wife. Folks, it's probably this gender thing. You're not gonna have one wife talk against another wife, but we'll be moving from that direction. But so in a generic sense, or in a public sense, I'm in a setting that somebody may say, "Hey, Joe, I can't believe you're wearing short pants or something, whatever it may be, or you're not appropriate for the moment." And not that I'm all over the place acting silly, but even then, at what point does it become a self ageless concept or a silly concept? And even I'm asking more than one
I
question.
think we're also afraid of being silly, and
Yeah.
that's the part where it's like, when you're a child you play, when you're an adult you work,
Mm-hmm.
and that's and be in the rat race, and you don't come up for air. and,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think that we need to really make those opportunities more often. I don't know if you heard from our friend. We have a mutual friend who has a new job. The boss comes in a few times a day with a boom box, and he
Mm.
walks through the halls and calls everyone out of their office to like come and move their bodies and be silly and dance. And it creates such an environment where people are, loose, and they're creative, and they're open, and they're not, they have fun in between being productive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if we could all kind of take that as an example and just do, let yourself um, have more fun, in this one life.
I see
Um,
that. So,
I remember, and with the ageless thing, I remember my father saying to me when he was turning 75, he's like, "I'm too young to be turning 75," and and that's my goal. It's like I just want to stay young as far as my mindset, and free and open and having fun, and
mhm.
um, as long as I can, as long as I plan to.
Now, have you seen? I've seen studies that they talk about, I guess, your mental age versus your physical age. Are those things like stuff you deal with when you
Well,
talk
again,
with people?
your biological age versus your chronological age. You can have a much younger biological age, and one of the ways is to have more fun and more laughter, because I think that while meditation can be an antidote to stress, so can having fun and being playful,
Hmm.
and laughing can be an antidote to stress, which you know again is healthy for the body, and that can and cause you to have a younger biological age.
I hear
There's
that. Now, you mentioned
people who,
biological.
like you said, have been studied that they play for a living. I mean, and if you look at their body and their mind, and they're sharper than ever. They're able to balance and jump, and
Mhm.
those games that we played on the playground. It's like, get back to the playground. All of us should go back to the
Okay.
playground.
Well,
And
you just made a point I was going to bring up. That is it. Simply, I hate to say simply only just, is it focused primarily on mental processing, also physical processing?
mhm.
That you do this yoga thing, and does that? I'm assuming that's supposed to help your ageless
Yeah, I
flow.
mean, well, there's certain, I think the moving part, the dancing, and we do some dancing in some of the kriyas that I teach in yoga. Um, but it's when, I mean, I think of it more as like we're not being strategic in trying to gain a skill, say, although I did learn to hula hoop again over the pandemic, and
Really? Okay.
it took me a year.
Any sore muscles as a result of that?
It's fun. It's fun, and then when you get it for longer than 30 seconds, it's amazing. Uh,
Okay.
but but I think it's take the opportunity. I knew of a couple who, I think I may have told you this. Like, they had 1 hour a week. They put a sign on the door and said, "We're not allowed to act older than 7 for the next hour." And
Mm-hmm.
they would play on the floor and finger paint and uh, jump around and
Mm.
play hopscotch in their living room, and it added so much to their relationship and to their spirit, and just to again not taking themselves too seriously.
Mm.
You know,
So, so I get the impression that maybe she's trying to present folks is that ageless it's not just a status. It's a goal, I'm assuming. And I guess people who have an ageless philosophy live longer, healthier. Is that kind of
it's
the
a
thing you're trying to say?
it's a state of mind, and I think if you can combine like the wisdom of the years of life experience with childlike awe and wonder,
Mm-hmm.
that's a recipe for longevity and health, and a life that's on purpose, having fun, which is what we are here for, to be happy, to have fun, to be joyful.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to all the other stuff that's going to happen.
Well, I hear that. So
But
I guess what the person has to do, I'm hazarding a guess, is that the mindset that I'm going to assume that person will understand that people maybe will act against them, will critique them. Is there some little hidden jewel that you might share how that?
and just that's just um, somebody who's stuck in that victim mentality and doesn't but don't let them not let you be free. I mean, you meet somebody, they're just such a free spirit. It's a nice way to be, and so the more we can allow ourselves to drop the drama And
Well, I hear that. I'm going to interrupt though, but that light switch thing again. How do I allow myself to be free? What's my first baby step to get in that direction that you might recommend to the public who
mhm.
share my side of the brain?
You know, put on some music, dance around, smile at yourself in the mirror,
Okay.
call a friend who's funny, watch a comedian. Don't watch serious news
Mm-hmm.
and drama and killing shows. Watch something that makes you a little lighter and laugh.
Okay.
Start with that.
So humor is an important part of
Yes.
mindless status.
Of Devil humor cuts into our perspective, right? And it can like just lighten things if it's
Mm-hmm.
done in a way that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think humor is a great part of it because when you're being silly and you're dancing around or doing whatever, you tend to smile and laugh, and so yeah, that's a part of it. Again, releasing those good feel good hormones.
Okay, fair enough. We're pushing our curfew minute here, folks. I really appreciate that. Again, commercial break. Please share your love with us, share your like with us, share your comments with us, and share us with your friends, family, and other members. If you feel we're not doing a good job, we're not making a, if you're not any less confused than I am, share your thought. If Lizzy makes total sense for you, share your thought. And certainly, bottom line is she's available to be connected with through the YouTube link along with myself. So I'm Joe Wesley saying goodbye to you along with
Signing off here,
Lizzy
Lizzy Gabor.
Gabor. Thank you very much for sharing this moment with us.
Thank you so much, folks.